Hi everyone, welcome back to our small engine repair tutorial. Today we have a Homelite 25cc 2-stroke line trimmer HLT25CS. So this trimmer is from a customer, and the problem is it just the pull start, so it won't retract. So I'll show you how it does. Let's start it. This one. That's the problem. Now it just stay like that. It just won't retract. So So obviously I'll show you how to fix this pole starter. Okay, let's open it. Okay, first of all, you need to open the back cover. And also, so there's nothing at the back, so we need to remove the shaft. And we need to remove the switch connection. Okay, so shaft here is we need to remove this shaft. You need to disconnect that, and the only thing that's holding between the shaft and the engine is the throttle cable. So if you want to disconnect the throttle cable, it's up to you, but for now we just leave it as it is. Okay, in order to access the starter coil spring, we need to remove the engine cover. But before we can remove the engine cover, we need to remove the clutch drum. So in order to remove the clutch drum, first is we have to use a Torx T25. There's a screw in the middle. So using that T25 Torx, which it won't fit, so we have to use the smaller size, the T25. So using the T25, if you're trying to spin this, it also spin the crankcase, it also spin the engine. So in order to stop that from happening, we need to lock the piston with a piston stopper. Here where you can purchase the piston stopper from eBay, just browse through the store and the link is on the description. Okay, now we have the piston stopper. So we lock the piston by replacing the spark plug. So we'll do that. So insert the piston stopper. You can see. Okay. So now we have access to the clutch base. So we also need to remove the clutch before we can remove the engine cover. So in order to remove the clutch, we have to quickly hammer the clutch counterclockwise. Okay, in order to remove the clutch assembly, we need to quickly hammer the clutch. If you have a bigger size hammer, use it, but I only have the smaller one, so just hammer from the side counterclockwise. Okay. So position this one, arrange this one, so you can still remember. So now we have to remove the engine cover. So these two screws here on the bottom, it's holding the fuel tank, is a little bit longer, and it's a Phillips head. So the other four screws that's holding the engine cover is a hex. So we use a hex. Okay, so we have an imperial hex here. Go try. Okay, this one will fit. Okay, all good. Now we have to carefully remove the housing assembly. So now we have to fix this part here. You have to clean this thoroughly and fix it. Okay, we have to remove this plate, retaining plate. So we'll check what's inside, what's behind. Just carefully remove the spring. And this part here, we have to be careful not to take it out, because there is a cold spring behind it, so it will spring out when we just pull it out. So the best we can do is I think it's we give it a good clean, and that's because of the grease, and that's hardened. As you can see, that's hardened. That creates a friction between the retaining plate and the pulley. So we'll give this a good clean and all right. Okay, here we go. We give it a good clean. The starter pulley, start assembly, and the retaining plate. So you wonder, because we don't want to, there's no problem with the rope. If you wonder how to replace the rope, I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so you can remove the clip from this side, and also you have to unwind the starter assembly. So in order to do that, you should just pull the starter a little bit, and then hook the rope, and manually while holding the assembly, manually unwind the rope so it won't create tension. So now gradually hold the rope and release until there's no tension, so you can remove the assembly. But you have to be careful not to remove the recoil spring as well. So some recoil spring is mounted on its back with assembly. So I think this is one of them. So yeah, so I'm right. So here's the recoil spring, starter recoil spring, and it looks very good and shiny. So now with this rope here, you can undo this one and then replace that, remove, and also you have to remove on the other end. You have to take this one out, then you have to push and then undo or cut it, and then when you replace this, replace on the other way around, the way how you assemble. Okay. I have here a WD-40 Lawn and Garden general use lubricant. So I really would like to give it a little bit of spray on the coil, just a little bit, just around it. Okay, so we can put this one back. So you see that nuts here, stud. So you line up this part into the stud. Okay. So now this part of the assembly, must be in line with this the spring here. Okay. So now we have to, once you have the rope, then you have to wind this one clockwise. Just wind it. Okay, now that you still have a little bit of rope to hold, just spin this one, tension this part, or you can just unwind. Sorry, you can just wind this one more while holding the assembly to give a tension. Okay, then we'll see if you still have enough tension. So now you have to put the spring back. So you have to line this part here with the S bend. You have to place this on this side here. Okay, and the pulley. So the pulley has two holes on both sides. So either way, So either way you can place it like that, but if some cases that this is damaged, then you can drill a new one on um, either side of here. So just place it like this. So just make sure that you'll see that this part here is worn out already. That's why the spring comes off, and you can't pull it. So this part here is worn out, damaged. So you have to use the other end. If these ones get damaged, then you have to drill a new one on both sides. Okay. So now we have to put the retaining plate back. Okay, so we have to assemble the engine now. So somehow this one, that's why I found it difficult to screw this one, and it has a cut, so it's designed that we can use a flathead. So this one here, we need to use the flathead. Okay, now we have to assemble the clutch. So that one first, this one, and the clutch. And then we have to assemble this one. So using a T25, remove the piston stopper, and let's try and see if because obviously when we crank this one, this is pretty much this is open, so it's likely to start, but we just give it a go. But we don't have to worry because the spark plug is not connected. So okay, so we also need to check whether there's a spark, but we should do this one in the beginning before we but it's not our problem if there is a spark or not, because the job that we're doing is only the pull starter. So I can't really see a spark. Let's see. Make it a little bit darker. Yeah, okay. So there's definitely there's a spark. It's very faint. So this one, I think this needs to be clean. Okay, let's assemble this. Okay. Line up the shaft. Okay. Let's try. Now we have to assemble the back cover. Okay, so now we have to put the spark plug back. Now we have to connect the switch. This one doesn't matter which one switch, so either way. Okay, we'll start this one. That is the gloves. So whether this one will start or not, it's not our problem, and our job is only to fix the starter. So if there's any problem with the carburetor, or the engine won't start, or needs replacement on the fuel lines, primer bulbs, then it's another story. So if the engine doesn't start, we will do tutorial for that, and we'll fix the engine. I mean the carburetor, we'll rebuild the carburetor or replace the carburetor, or we can replace a few lines, but that's another video. So let's try to start this on. Put in a choke, run position, primer, So here we go. So that is damaged again. So the problem is that I think we need to drill a hole on the other side of the plastic. So now we have to redo the job again, and it's clear that the engine doesn't run, so we have to tell the customer that there's a problem with the engine, but we have to redo this one again. So thanks for watching.